Nvidia and its chips. I think we touched on it last week, but what was obviously interesting here was this massive revenue. The announcement of this massive boost in its revenue, up 256% over the prior year on the basic, understanding that they're going to be heavily getting into the AI space and called more upon, to develop those GPU chips that were, previously, for games and stuff, and now they're going to go towards AI, almost to the point where now it's pushing the company's value to the point of, being on the levels of like Microsoft and Apple, etc. And good for them. Like that's the market recognizing the commentary around the supposed importance of AI, I guess, for lack of a better term. But it also kind of it's a financial marker of where the discussion is going on this. And whether they're lucky, they were in the right place at the right time with just happening to have the right chips. Good for them, but that this is going to like really make them quite significant if the progress goes this way.
Oh yes, it's huge. But I think you have to look at the chip market in perspective. It's not easy or cheap to make chips, certainly at the scale that you'd need to be profitable. So and Intel's the story on this. They're a company that for 20 years easily had the ascendancy. And one wrong turn, and you can see how much effort and at what expense Intel are having to go to now to play catch up. So they've gone from being top to just an also-ran within a handful of years. So Nvidia, used to make what we used to think were just, graphics chips, GPUs, whatever, good for games, et cetera, but that wasn't really what was important, in your PC, was, the hardcore high gigahertz chip, but we've found differently now, thanks to Bitcoin and now thanks to AI, that the architecture in those GPUs allows far more, broader control of a chip and more processing bandwidth. And so they happen to be making them, and they're making them better than anyone else, and now everyone wants them, and that's just the way it goes.
Makes me wonder about just chip manufacture in general, and the whole, how complicated and difficult it is, to get foundries up and running and and whatnot. And I realize that obviously in America there's been quite a bit of investment in getting, and Intel's been the beneficiary of it in terms of getting foundries up and running. But it just almost seems insane, the level of chip manufacturer production that we're about to, enter into, and whether or not it can all keep up.
Well, yeah, this is precisely right. So there's nothing super amazing about GPUs. We've had them for years and years and years, and there's, Nvidia makes very good ones, just as Intel used to make, the best chips. But the thing is, to get there, to get to that point in the market where you can create volume at an economical price is the killer, and that takes a huge amount of investment. However, chips are now seen to be so important to our future, and we've seen the supply chain shocks during COVID, that's why the US government now is looking at that investment with Intel to bring that manufacturing back to the States. So, you can see how important we think chips are. Well, indeed, we know with the shortage that happened during COVID, people couldn't get cars, people couldn't get appliances, people couldn't get things that, we take for granted. But these days, whether they need them or not, all have a chip in them.
It's a bit like striking oil, really, isn't it? That's kind of the importance that they're getting to.
That's right. They are the oil.